Yes, it be like say they want to tell us another story again, yo. Now so, you know, say people they say I be superstar. But for me, the real superstars are those people where they go vote for the candidate of their choice without violence. So for these upcoming elections, be my superstar. Vote, no fights, no violence, because the election will be won. We work together so the future will be brighter.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link. And be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
In 1953, the Federal Institute for Industrial Research, Oshodi, FIRO, was established. Since then, FIRO has been engaged in research work, solving problems and discovering new ways to make life better for Nigerians. These discoveries and research findings must be made available to Nigerians, medium and small-scale enterprises, and the international community. And the vehicle to do this is FIRO House, Africa's first industrial TV reality show, produced and packaged by Lashon Links Limited. For details on how to be part of the show, please visit our website on www.firohouse.tv or call 081-873-55745. Lashon Links FIRO House, bringing Nigerian technology to your doorstep.
Zuma Film Festival 2018 Abuja. Theme: Archiving for Creativity. Date: December 1st to 7th, 2018. Featuring film screenings, masterclasses, special tributes, NFC Annual Film Lecture, NFC Annual Essay Competition Awards, special national and state days, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and Zuma Film Festival 2018 Awards. Submission of entries for non-competition, competition and screening is ongoing and closes September 30th, 2018. All entries should be forwarded to the festival director, Zuma Film Festival Nigerian Film Corporation, headquarters in Jos, and or its zonal offices in Abia, Lagos, Kano, Asaba, Yola, and Abuja, or through the Film Freeway online platform, www.filmfreeway.com. For further
Hello out there. It's been raining cats and dogs here in Abuja. How's your end? For us here, we are grateful for the rain and we're glad it's Wednesday night. The night we bring you the news with the extra touch. Tonight is exciting because the nation has received an august visitor at the end of August. Do I have to tell you who? Well, I don't think so. Watch out for the details. 2019 is bearing down fast on us. Of course, we also know what that means. Elections, expectedly, political activities are also on the increase. We have these stories too. Of course, in all of the above, security is key. We do have security stories too. That's not all. There are stories on the economy, education, infrastructure development, and much more. Okay, I'm eager to get going, so let me not waste any more time. Let me serve you the pudding so that you can get a feel of the taste. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated the unshakable resolve of his administration towards conducting free, fair, and credible election in 2019. The president gave the assurance while exchanging views with the British Prime Minister Theresa May. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that several agreements aimed at deepening relations between Nigeria and the United Kingdom were signed after the high-level talks.
This is the first visit by the British Prime Minister Theresa May not only to Nigeria, but indeed the African continent since coming to power in 2016. She was therefore accorded a befitting welcome by President Muhammadu Buhari at the forecourt of the State House. For Prime Minister May, it is a reciprocal visit, having hosted the Nigerian leader at the 10 Downing Street in London in April this year. After exchanging pleasantries by their respective countries' delegations, the two leaders retreated for talks on areas of common interest between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. On the forthcoming Nigeria's 2019 elections, President Buhari told his guests that he will stop at nothing towards ensuring free, fair, and credible outcome, and welcome the support of the United Kingdom at strengthening democratic institutions. Nigeria, he said, has accepted multi-party democracy, now putting politicians on their toes, saying, however, that he is well pleased that the governing APC is doing very well. The president applauded the support by Britain to the anti-corruption campaign, noting that the success of the crusade is critical to Nigeria, especially the less privileged. He also thanked the UK government for its tremendous support on security and the fight against insurgency, and underscored the need for more assistance towards reviving Lake Chad as a means of livelihood for millions of people.
And we are pleased that Europe and China conducting an in-depth study to see how it can be recharged by inter-basin transfer from Central African Republic to Chad. So the people for fishing, animal husbandry, all seasons farming. Millions of people in Nigeria stand to benefit most than most other countries.
Prime Minister Theresa May, who welcomed the assurance by the Nigerian government on credible elections in 2019, described as pleasing the continuation of her excellent discussions with President Muhammadu Buhari on security, trade, assets recovery, and the fight against corruption. She said while security and defense cooperation is vital towards containing Boko Haram, the United Kingdom does not hold anything that belongs to Nigerian people, saying judicial process on assets recovery is slow but has to be followed. The British Prime Minister appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to use his position as ECOWAS chairman to keep the issue of human trafficking on the front burner.
And we, of course, will also be looking to work together to step up our work on shared security threats, be it threats from Boko Haram or human trafficking, a subject on which you and I have spoken previously, and of course also cooperate on tackling corruption and lifting people out of poverty.
The two leaders witnessed the signing of two new agreements between Nigeria and the United Kingdom on defense and security, as well as economic development forum.
This clearly highlights the two priority areas in our relationship at the moment. You know, under the Defense and Security Pact, it's a comprehensive agreement that covers all aspects of the security challenges. So apart from, you know, the military training, but also, you know, the support, the policing, civil policing, and you know, the human rights aspect of security, and the sort of the close cooperation that our two countries will have, the training that will be provided also by the UK to our security forces. And on the Economic Development Forum, this is a forum that really aims at co-prosperity, the prosperity of our two countries. It's looking to leverage, you know, in areas where we have, as countries, competitive advantages, you know, the financial center that London is, and the investment opportunities in our country, and really to build that up.
The purpose of the Commission is to be able to discuss issues that has to do with the growth of our two economies. We will have trade negotiations where it becomes necessary. We'll also have cooperation in several aspects that will be beneficial for both of our countries. There will be bilateral meetings, biannual meetings to be hosted interchangeably in UK and in Nigeria.
The British Prime Minister, Theresa May, who earlier visited South Africa, is proceeding to the East African nation of Kenya before returning to London. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Well, there is no gainsaying the fact that relations between Nigeria and the United Kingdom go deep and can be traced to colonial times. In this next report, Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Macham examines the state of diplomatic relations between the two countries.
By 1960, when Nigeria became independent, Britain had changed from being a colonial master to a friend and partner, where both countries assumed equal status on the international stage. Since then, the two countries have worked closely together, agreeing and disagreeing when necessary as dictated by national interests.
They were former colonial masters, but that's gone now. We're an independent country, and they appreciate us to that extent. And we also appreciate them to the extent that they've been receptive to us at different levels. Okay? And I don't see this reception dying in a century to come.
However, the diplomatic relations between the two countries are said to be cordial.
At the global political level, we pretty much share the same ideas and values on a lot of issues, especially in the multilateral setting. They've supported some of our candidatures for international organizations, and we're supporting some of theirs. So the relations are very good.
The visit of the British Prime Minister Theresa May to Nigeria is therefore seen from the prism of existing ties between the two countries, even as Britain exits the European Union and Nigeria pursues industrialization and economic diversification.
The person of President Muhammadu Buhari is a selling point for us Nigerians. That's the first takeaway from all of this, that leaders around the world eulogize, respect, and adore the individual who's at the helm of affairs of our country is a plus for us.
Now, there are about 250,000 Nigerians said to be residing in the United Kingdom, while about 20,000 British citizens reside here in Nigeria. Now, people-to-people contact has continued to increase over the years between the two countries, and this visit also hopes to consolidate on that. Meanwhile, Nigeria's ambassador to Germany, Yusuf Metamatuga, has explained that the visit of Chancellor Angela Merkel to Nigeria will open new vistas for the two countries.
So these sort of structured partnerships is what we need with countries like Germany, and it is what we're getting. So it's a very welcome development. I'm certain that it's going to be a very successful visit.
Nigerians are looking forward to the dividends of the back-to-back visits by two leading European female leaders, which diplomatic sources say is coincidental rather than planned. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Well, preparing for post-Brexit era, Britain is shopping for new alliances and seeks to strengthen existing trade relations. It is for this reason that the Prime Minister, Theresa May, is in Africa visiting Nigeria, South Africa and Kenya. Finance and economy correspondent Leah Katung Babatunde in this next report takes a look at economic, investment and trade relations between Nigeria and the UK and what it holds for Nigeria, Africa's largest economy.
Relations between Nigeria and the UK predates Nigeria's independence. Being part of the Commonwealth, ties between both economies have remained cordial. According to the Nigerian Office for Trade and Negotiations, for the 5-year period between 2013 and 2017, total value of trade stood at $15 billion, and during the time, Nigeria imported goods and services worth $5.7 billion, comprising mainly machineries and industrial equipments.
For a relationship that has been that long, not good enough. Not good enough. There have been constraints on all sides.
But as Britain prepares to voyage through the economic waters ahead of its departure from the euro area, Britons look on to Theresa May, saddled with the responsibility of midwifing the transition in first-hand experience available opportunities now and in the future.
The messages that they have the UK. The Prime Minister has been
materials, services and crude oil to the UK. Nigeria can deepen investment penetration, bridge the existing infrastructure and technological gaps.
The future of business in Nigeria. What the government needs to do, he says, is to create an environment for the technology companies to thrive and for innovation to thrive.
I'm completely convinced that we're in an excellent place to do a lot of very creative and very innovative things. We've seen so much here already today, and I think we're in a very, very good place to make the real difference in business that we want to see.
Many of the startups, he explains, are members of an advisory team that contribute to policy formulation. What are some of the expectations on the visit?
We're looking forward to collaboration in every possible way. We have a large business contingent from the United Kingdom. They obviously will be looking at all of the various aspects of business in Nigeria, and there's so much opportunity. So we're very optimistic that this will be a very good meeting.
You know, it brings a unique offer in terms of the financial sector, because we're here today with the Mayor of the Lord Mayor of London. We're here today with the UK's Development Financial Institutions, CDC. We're here today with a wide range of different institutions that are able to invest capital and long-term patient capital, the kind of capital that creates jobs. And so it's very exciting to highlight the many ways in which the UK and Nigeria are so strongly linked, and this sector and these financial links is a really good example of that unique offer that the UK brings to investment within Nigeria.
Since 2016, technology, innovation and the creative sectors have been receiving so much attention from the Buhari administration, especially in its diversification drive. As often expressed by the Vice President, these areas are capable of transforming the nation. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And away from the British Prime Minister's visit, it was not long ago that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, blew the whistle on the commencement of political activities for the 2019 general elections. Now, this means political parties are free to begin holding congresses and primaries to select candidates to be fielded for political offices. It is no wonder, therefore, that the All Progressives Congress, APC, is already up and doing. The party held a crucial caucus meeting all through Tuesday evening in Abuja. Adam Sambo says, expectedly, issues relating to the forthcoming primary elections of the party dominated discussions.
It was the first meeting of the APC caucus since the election of the new national executive members of the governing party led by Adams Oshomole over 2 months ago. Amongst those in attendance were President Muhammadu Buhari, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Chief Bisi Okonde, governors, National Assembly members and other stakeholders. Topical issues bordering on the interests of the party and Nigeria were thoroughly analyzed at the meeting, which lasted over 2.5 hours behind closed doors. Prominent amongst them includes the forthcoming primaries of the party scheduled for September.
We basically discussed how to ensure full compliance with the ANEC guideline, and also ensure that we observe all the principles of internal democracy, participation, inclusion, fairness, and justice. I think everybody has confidence that we will do a very credible primaries to ensure that those who fly the flag of the party have the mandate of the various constituents.
Once you have party members that are able to take decisions on who should represent them, I think, we would have gone a step better than other parties. The whole essence is for us to deepen democracy.
At the meeting, also holding for the first time since the gale of defections to and from the party, the need for unity of purpose amongst members of the APC caucus in both chambers of the National Assembly, so harmonious relationships.
After the defections, doing everything possible to ensure National Assembly reconvenes to look into the serious issues that's for granted.
Some of the into the party.
The skeptics, he has been able to seize the party to vote for come 2019.
Structure, so that achieve a lot more with the APC government. Many people are going to come with me so that in moving forward, we can have solutions to the crisis of the Niger Delta.
Decisions taken at the meeting will be forwarded to the party's next meeting on Thursday for consideration. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Well, there is a popular saying that since birds have learned to fly without perching, hunters have also learned how to shoot without missing. This is probably the game between INEC and desperate politicians who indulge in vote buying, as well as those who use the social media to launch fake news for personal gains, with the attendant catastrophic challenge of electoral violence and mistrust. So, how can INEC overcome this 21st century challenge? Mayor Ogidi was at the INEC headquarters in Abuja, where a crucial meeting was held to address these issues.
Dancing, coalitions and campaigns are all political diplomacies primarily deployed to sway voters to political parties to increase their numerical strength and ultimately capture political power. Yes, these are the traditional strategies in winning the hearts of the electorate, but of recent, a cancer has affected the health of the electoral system. That is vote buying. Some even call it pay as you vote, as well as fake news to create disaffection among the players through the social media platforms. Is the Independent National Electoral Commission helpless in this situation?
How can we then, as INEC, leverage those skills that you possess?
Figuratively, the pen is mightier than the sword. So Independent National Electoral Commission is leveraging on the kind offer of the fourth estate of the realm and civil society organizations to use their communication tools and the wide reach to educate the electorate on the do's and don'ts as contained in the Electoral Act.
Voter education and voter sensitization so that citizens will never allow their votes to be sold during elections. To achieve that, we need to work with you.
Will we go back home, put ourselves, agencies together and articulate our position? And we'll present it holistically here, what we think best, to support, we'll do to support INEC to have a very successful outing in 2019 in terms of publicity.
INEC and the members of the PEN fraternity at the end of the meeting agreed that such engagements were going to be on a regular basis to ensure that issues pertaining to voter education are discussed. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
APC inaugurates Osun Campaign Council as Kwankwaso declares for president. The details when we return after the break.
Traffic is terrible. What is your map saying?
Don't worry. The map says it will soon clear.
Driver! Hold! This bush woman. Madam, come on! See this whole matter you do, Baro! Shut up! Driver! Shut up! Okay. Driver! At the end, there's a T-junction. What? See? Then there's another road that follows again. Driver! Over there, Papa, you finally came. Don't you know that with Glow Agassi, I will always be ahead?
Glow Agassi, enjoy 125% more data to get ahead. Dial *777#. The largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
How may I help you?
We are staff of the National Population Commission.
Please come in.
Thank you, sir.
Honey!
Yes, sir.
Please come with the kids. The government has sent people to collect information about us.
The National Population Commission and the Federal Ministry of Health will commence the 2018 Nigeria Demographic and Health Survey in selected communities of all the local government areas of the Federation. The survey will sample housing and households, all women and men aged 14 to 59, and also children aged 0 to 5. This survey will be carried out by the pricking of fingers for lab testing and questionnaires for malaria, anemia, HIV and AIDS, fistula, female genital cutting, domestic violence, pregnancy-related and child mortality, amongst others. The exercise will help the government to plan for better housing and improved healthcare facilities. This message is brought to you by the National Population Commission and the Ministry of Health with the support of the U.S.
The National President of National Council for Women Societies, NCWS, and the Women in Politics Forum, in collaboration with the Office of the Wife of the President, invites stakeholders to attend the summit to discuss issues to support women aspirants. The summit is scheduled to take place as follows. Date, Thursday, August 30th, 2018. Venue, National Center for Women Development. Time, 12 noon prompt. Special guest and keynote speaker, Her Excellency Dr. Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, wife of the President. The summit will be attended by chairmen of all political parties, state governors, traditional and religious leaders, international and national organizations, women organizations, and other stakeholders. Dr. Hajo Sani, Senior Special Assistant to the President, for Wife of the President, announcer.
The ongoing nationwide continuous voter registration has been extended to the end of this month, August 31st, 2018. If you have not registered, do so during this period. Requests for transfer of voter registration and replacement of lost or damaged PVCs will also be attended to by INEC officials. Remember, continuous voter registration is from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily, including Saturdays and Sundays. However, the exercise will not take place during public holidays.
This message is brought to you by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, with support from the European Union and the European Centre for Electoral Support.
INEC, making your votes count, consolidating our democracy.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Admissions for 2018-2019 academic session is ongoing. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
The Nigerian Office for Trade Negotiations, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, has launched a process for the preparation of a 21st century trade policy for Nigeria, a welfare and prosperity trade agenda that works for all. Inputs are invited from all stakeholders, public and private. The launch of this process is in accordance with Mr. President's priority on the economy for growth and job creation. It shall be transparent and nationwide. Inputs should reach the NOTN office not later than 30th of September 2018. Forward your inputs to Nigeria 21st Century Trade Policy at notn.gov.ng and info@notn.gov.ng. For details, visit our website www.notn.gov.ng or Twitter @TradeOfficeNG. Announcer, Director General, Nigerian Office for Trade Negotiations.
19 naira, na 10 naira remain, oh boy. Hey, 10 naira. 10 naira, 10 naira.
Bet with as little as 50 naira on wakabet.ng. Play more games for more wins. And never forget, your first bet is free.
Log on to wakabet.ng. Register to claim your free bet of 50 naira and be a winner today. Wakabet. Now your hand it day.
You're welcome back. This is News Extra coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The All Progressives Congress, APC, says it has remained resolute in its strategy in working towards success in the 2019 general elections as the party expressed readiness to replicate the victory it recorded in the July 14th Ekiti State governorship election in the forthcoming September 22nd governorship polls in Osun State. To this end, the party has inaugurated a 63-member National Campaign Council for Osun governorship election. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi completes the report.
In less than a month, the people of Osun State are expected to go to the polls to elect a governor through a party of their choice. About 50 political parties besides the ruling APC are participating in the election. The 63-member APC National Campaign Council, comprising 15 serving governors, members of both the legislative and executive arms of government, as well as party stalwarts, have been challenged to work towards maintaining the state in the fold of progressive governance under the banner of APC. This, the national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, says can be achieved by propagating the principle of free and fair conduct before, during and after the polls.
I believe we have a solid foundation on which we can mobilize, and we will have to mobilize the people of Osun State to continue to trust the All Progressive Congress by voting for our party. And so the importance of winning this state is clear to all of us. And we are convinced that given the leadership that Ogbeni Rao Farik-Bishola had provided.
As progressives, Mr. Chairman, we assure you will ensure clean election, free and fair election, because that is our motive as the APC.
Activities are in high spirit at the National Secretariat of the APC ahead of the NEC meeting, which will be the first under Comrade Adams Oshiomhole as the national chairman of APC. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And Cross River State Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Matthew Achegbe, says all is set for the party to take over governance in Cross River. He stated this in Abuja after his formal inauguration by the APC National Working Committee, presided over by APC National Chairman Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Again, Saliu Abdullahi has that report.
With this, the tussle over who controls the structure of the Cross River chapter of the APC has been laid to rest.
Let us work together. As far as I'm concerned,
the new chairman, Matthew Achegbe, promised to galvanize more support for the party and sustain efforts within the state and beyond to entrench good governance under President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
I would set the machinery in motion for us to move to our various local government areas, encourage them to sell our party to the people so that we will not have any challenge when the time comes, come 2019 polls.
Matthew Achegbe emerged as the new chairman of the Cross River State chapter of the APC at a rescheduled Congress held on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2018 in Calabar. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And still on the political scene, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, a former governor of Kano State, has declared his intention to contest for the president of Nigeria under the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Timothy Yusuf has that report.
The declaration was held in Jabi area of Abuja. Addressing the gathering, Senator Kwankwaso expressed that he is in PDP in order to realize his aspiration of becoming the president of Nigeria.
Today, I declare that I'm going to vie for the office of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, under the platform of People's Democratic Party.
Other speakers, including former Deputy Governor of Kano State, Professor Hafiz Abubakar, some former governors and members of the National Assembly, enjoined the people to remain lawful to constituted authority. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, back in his home state, Kano, the All Progressives Congress has formally received more than 10,000 supporters of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, who defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state. They described their decision to pitch their tent with the ruling APC as patriotic and respect for President Muhammadu Buhari, as well as their readiness to support his re-election bid. Abdullahi Mustafa has that report.
Thousands of tricycle riders thronged the main bowl of the Sani Abacha Stadium to renounce their loyalty to Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and membership of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). They did that symbolically by burning the Kwankwasia identity, the red cap. Their loyalty to APC, the former PDP members say, was in appreciation of the positive transformation brought about by President Muhammadu Buhari, especially his fight against corruption and entrenchment of good governance. Chairman, Kano State Chapter of the APC, Abdullahi Abbas, who welcomed the new members, reassured that the Buhari's administration will not be deterred in its determination to address the ills of bad governance in the country. He enjoined them to actively participate and contribute towards the success of the party in the upcoming general elections. Other party stalwarts described the defection of PDP members to APC as an indication that Nigerians are appreciative of its leadership style.
And they realize that the party is now gradually becoming stable, the economy is being gradually consolidated. So there is need for them to continue to support the APC.
They have seen what His Excellency Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has been doing to the youth in the state. That's why they have decided today to dump their parties, the PDP, and join the under the leadership of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari.
And the mass defection of PDP members to APC here in Kano State, the various speakers here say it's an encouragement to the governing party to continue to deliver the dividends of democracy to Nigerians. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Ibadan exhibits a typical Yoruba settlement pattern found in Nigeria's southwest. However, there is a community within the metropolis that gives you the impression that you are in far-flung northern Nigerian environment. This community speaks volumes about Nigeria's unity in diversity. Kemi Akinwade reports on the age-long cordial relationship between the so-called settlers and indigenes.
The capital city of Oyo State is noted for some unique features that also have historical relevance. But within the city described as the largest in Africa are many other cities. One of them is Sabo, a community that has similar features with most cities in the northern part of the country. These features include culture, language, people, structures, businesses, and even social activities. Sabo community was created in 1897, well before Sabongeri in Kano. The community is a reservation area for the Hausa, many of whom were born in Ibadan and have taken the ancient city as their homeland.
You can see about 80 to 85% who are married to Yorubas. And we also gave our daughters to Yorubas. This is what is happening now. So we were part and parcel of the bond of relationship of this Nigeria.
Most of our grandparents, all of them were born here. So we also born here too. So we lived for the past 80, 100 years.
I was born here. My daddy too was born here. My mommy too was born here. And my elder brothers and my junior sisters, all of them were born here.
The Yoruba community see us as a partner. At times we do. I never see myself as a northerner here.
The architectural design of buildings reflect that of the Ariwa people. They have taken time to learn the language of their host, maintain a cordial relationship, but keep their culture, which particularly tends towards the dominant religion of the community, Islam.
They treat us well. We have no problem with them.
In fact, when we were sent away from the roadside, they gave us this place.
It is a complete community with its market, which has extended beyond Sabo, health centers and schools. The community is subject to the traditional head, the Serikin Hausawa, who ensures his people adhere to the laws of Ibadan land and perform their civic responsibility whenever the need arises. It is no doubt that the Sabo community is a true reflection of unity in diversity in Nigeria. In Ibadan, Kemi Akiwande, NTA News.
I quite agree with you, Kemi. Now, even by their menacing disposition and manner of dressing when in combat environment, you will know that the soldier is trained to shoot and kill. Shoot to kill. But is it possible that there are circumstances or occasions the soldier does not shoot to kill? Defense correspondent Ismail Musa, just back from the upgraded Army shooting range in Kefi, Nasarawa State, tells us.
This is the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, and other service officers at the newly upgraded shooting range at the Shitu Alau Army Barracks in Kefi, Nasarawa State. They all have defined collective target that differs from shooting to kill, but to test their proficiency and marksmanship. With the Nigerian Army involved in different internal security operations in about 28 states of the Federation, this upscaled shooting range with developed access road, General Buratai says, provide an enabling training ground for troops.
You are expected to zero your weapons here, to apply all the marksmanship principles to be able to be effective in the field when deployed. You are expected to achieve one shot, one kill at all times.
Though impressed with the quality of work done through direct labor, the Army Chief, however, says there's room for improvement through the installation of electronic firing board to enhance classification.
There is no doubt this range is of international standard. We must get the facilities to match that standard.
Solar-powered streetlights were among projects inaugurated. From Kefi in Nasarawa State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has renewed the commitment of the Nigerian Air Force towards securing the nation from both internal and external aggressions and observe rules of engagement while discharging its constitutional role. The Chief of Air Staff stated this at the inauguration of Basic Flying Course 18 at the 403 Flying School, Kano. Muhammad Rabiu Ali completes the report.
This is simulation of aerial display by the 7 graduating students showcasing their professionalism after a successful completion of basic flying course. The 7 students and a graduate of the United States Air Force were trained as operational pilots to complement the effort of the existing ones that are protecting the territorial integrity of the country. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, was on ground to witness his vision of repositioning the force through capacity building initiatives of air power in response to Nigeria's national security imperatives.
The graduation of these 7 pilots will certainly add value to what we are already doing. They are qualified as fighter pilots here. They will do some further training, to type rate on the other aircraft types that we have. But we have saved close to $6 million for Nigeria. If these guys were trained outside, it would have cost not less than about $750,000 to $760,000 per pilot.
The graduating students were presented with merit certificate and winging as qualified pilots.
Today marks the end of a new beginning for all of us, and we pray the Almighty as we move ahead, as we are getting deployed, that He will continue to strengthen us. 403 Flying Training School, Kano, has so far graduated 175 pilots since its inception. From Kano, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Giving honor to whom honor is due is the message here. As Buhari Friends Organization converged on Abuja to celebrate the wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, for her unflinching support for humanity through her project and purposeful drive, as well as her recent award of a doctorate degree in public administration by Sun Moon University, Republic of Korea. Ifanyi Ezumba has that report.
The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, aside from her humanitarian nature, has always mortgaged her comfort and privilege. Most times, she cautions dastardly acts of certain people in and out of government. The Buhari Friends Organization Network felt it expedient to celebrate her for another feat she just recorded in the Republic of Korea based on her achievements and service to the nation and humanity.
Was given a PhD in recognition to her achievement in complimenting Mr. President, the husband. So it behoves us as the true friends of the family to call ourselves together like this and celebrate her once again. And as she continues to excel, so shall we continue to motivate her to do more. Our duty is to compliment our effort, to encourage her to do more, especially for the poor people that she really defends.
Her job spoke for itself. It was a meritorious award, well selected by all the governing councils of the university. She was evaluated with all other first ladies from all over the world, and they find her,
We are praying, we are also advocating for a higher award for her.
The Buhari Friends Organization Network used the occasion to call on the wife of the president to redouble her efforts in seeing that her pet project, The Future Assured, is spread into grassroots across the country. In Abuja, Ifanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Congratulations to the mother of the nation. Coming up next, some business news and the strange story of the dried spring come back to life.
Public presentation of the revolution of accountancy profession in Nigeria, history of Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, by Olumiyiwa Soshoya, will hold at the Shehu Musa Yar'Adua Center, Abuja, on Thursday, 30th August 2018, by 11 a.m. Keynote address, Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Chief Host, General Ibrahim Babangida, Chairman Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Special Guest of Honor, General Abdul Salam, Guest Speaker Dr. Adukaye Bio Chane, Minister of State for Planning and Development, Benin Republic, Royal Father of the Day, Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. Co-Chief Launchers, Dr. Muhammadu Idimi, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija, and Chief Mike Adenuga. The book reviewer is Mr. Shegun Ayobolu. Be a part of history. Organizing Committee Announcer.
We have a challenge. My husband has a big interview, but his shirts aren't cleaning well.
Don't panic, Ngozi. Just use Good Mama. Good Mama's extra cleaning power removes all dirt, leaving a wonderful scent. Look, whites are white, colors are bright, and extra fresh.
Now in a 1 kg pack.
He got the job?
What do you think?
Obvious.
Good Mama knows best.
If you don't get money, hide your face. You can call me small doctor. Omo ya teacher. Wọ́n ti gba penalty lọ throwing.
The smartphone network.
What makes a Nigerian mom powerful?
I trust the power of Dettol's One Capful for bathing. The power of Dettol's One Capful protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Be 100% sure.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build build decisions that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Helen! Your kitchen gets 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now?
Sure.
This gets just 1.
It is clean.
But not perfect 10.
Better than my detergent and bleach? Impossible.
Challenge? Try the new Apic 10X.
Compared to bleach and detergent, Apic sticker formulation removes yellow stains times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow.
Now you also take the
Apic 10X challenge.
Also available in 200 ml pack.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
You're welcome back to News Extra. It's good to know you are out there watching. Economic expert expresses optimism for a more robust Nigeria-United Kingdom bilateral trade following the visit of the UK Prime Minister with a trade delegation. The Central Bank of Nigeria wields the big stick on 4 erring commercial banks as the all-share index of the capital market closed midweeks, tracking in the red. Let's join Abolade Salami for details on our business news segment.
Glad to have you join us on the business news segment. As the largest economy in Africa, with external reserves of over $46 billion, the need for Nigeria and United Kingdom to deepen their bilateral trade for long-term economic benefit and ease of doing business, experts say, must be strengthened. The UK Prime Minister's visit to Nigeria economic expert Professor Chris Onalu believes will help address critical business matters.
The UK has developed a Commonwealth territory for ourselves, countries that are colonized by the UK. That in itself is a huge market. And Nigeria should, as a member of global international, global, players of politics down the line of investment, to be able to harness that Britain, here we are, we want to, partner with you to develop a creative, innovative market that will be attractive for investment within the Commonwealth nations. I want to be very firm in my mind that the business community in Nigeria will also engage the Prime Minister and her team on this issue that, look, we can't be talking about global market when we are not paying attention to the most closer market opportunity that we have.
Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has imposed heavy sanction on 4 banks for flagrant violation of extant laws and regulation of the country. With a sanction fee of 5.87 billion naira, the affected banks have been directed to refund the sum of $8.13 billion to the Apex Bank. In a statement issued by the Acting Director for Communication, Isaac Okorafor, directed the banks to refund the sum illegally repatriated to the coffers of the Apex Bank as a result of alleged irregular certification of capital importation on behalf of MTN's investors. And now let's see how stocks were traded midweek on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
All share index dipping at 35,358.94 basis points, which exchanged hands in 3,261 deals. The volume of shares was 345 million, valued at 2.26 billion naira. Market capitalization closed at 12.9 trillion naira. Total, with 2 naira, topped the gainers table. On the losers table, Flour Mills with 75 kobo came tops, followed by WAPCO and Unilever.
Stock Market Report concludes business news segment. News Extra continues shortly. Please stay with us.
President Muhammadu Buhari has formally given reasons for withholding assent to the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill 2018 forwarded to him by the National Assembly. The senior special assistant to the Nigerian leader on National Assembly matters, Senator Ita Enang, told State House correspondents that contrary to the misrepresentation in public domain, the president is well guided by the provisions of the Constitution on the matter.
Regulatory Commission retaining 10% of the revenue it makes is excessive and inappropriate in view of the fact that there are other sources of funding for the Petroleum Industry Commission, including budgetary provisions for its personnel and recurrent expenditure. And so Mr. President considers that the Commission retaining 10% will be depriving the federal government, the state government, the Federal Capital Territory, and the 668 local governments in the country of the revenue that should accrue to them and be shared by the Federation account to all the 3 tiers of government.
The president also expressed the belief that expanding the scope of the Petroleum Equalization Fund is in divergence from the policy of his administration. "60 unemployed graduates from the northern states have commenced 12-day training on aquaculture and fish processing in Lagos. Jennifer Igwe reports that the program is part of the Green Initiative of the Buhari administration on agricultural development and youth empowerment, with the objective of developing entrepreneurs.
Young men and women aged between 22 and 45 gathered at the fish farm of the Nigerian Institute of Oceanography and Marine Research in Badore, Lagos. They are all from the northern part of the country and have been selected based on their interest in becoming fish farmers and entrepreneurs. The training is not restricted to classroom theories and notes. It is hands-on, and participants are expected to grasp the rudiment of fish farming and its viability. Fish farming is becoming a thriving venture, providing opportunities for self-employment and poverty alleviation.
We are teaching the people to know how to do it so that we can still be able to cut off some part of the importation we do.
And these young people are taking notes and learning because they have aspirations. I'll be talking to Margaret Phillips, 29-year-old from Adamawa State, Dada Yola, also 29 years old from Kwara, and Jafar Mohammed, 39 years old from Nasarawa State. Now, what do you plan to do after this training?
I have been unemployed right from 2015, and with the knowledge I'll acquire from this program, I intend to start something of my own. That means go into fish farming and also be an employer of labor.
In order for me to know how to cultivate, maintain and study fish production.
The trainees have their own goals, but targets have been set for each one of them by their trainers.
But we are giving them 1,000 catfish juveniles. I mean, 4 to 6 months is expected they have attained at least half a kilo. So we are expecting 500 kilograms.
To ensure the targets are met, starter packs comprising of fish tanks, catfish juveniles, vital fish feeds, basins, scales, hand nets, bowls, sieves, log books for record keeping, and salt for biosecurity would be handed over to each of the participants at the end of the training. Last year, similar training exercise was conducted for youths from the southern part of the country. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
Well, for those who are familiar with banking in Nigeria, you know how difficult it is to access credit facility, either for personal or commercial needs. This has been a major challenge confronting smallholder farmers who need more money to boost their production. It is in the light of this that the federal government, in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, set aside 10 billion naira to be given to farmers on loan on a single-digit interest of 9%. Musa Baba Aliyu reports that farmers, as well as the Minister of Agriculture, are optimistic that the initiative will boost the nation's food production and processing.
Yes, access to credit facility to boost agricultural activities has been an issue between farmers and commercial banks operators nationwide. High interest rate charges is the major challenge smallholder farmers are kicking against.
We have been advocating this for many years.
Minister of Agriculture, Adu Ogwe, who is also a farmer, has been championing the campaign against high charges by commercial banks.
Interest rates before now have definitely been responsible in large measure for the slow growth and the high incapacity of Nigeria to create jobs for young people in particular.
As the Central Bank of Nigeria directs commercial banks to give farmers loans on single-digit interest rates, agriculturists say the initiative will go a long way in boosting food production and processing in the country.
We in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture will join hands with the banks and the CBN to play a major role in making sure that what farmers borrow, they repay, especially as we intend to use the cooperatives to move agricultural credit to the most vulnerable segment of our population, namely the women and the youths.
Adu Ogwe says Buhari-led administration will continue to address challenges affecting crop production in the country. The federal government has recently rolled out a program, Traders Money, under which 2 million petty traders will get 10,000 collateral-free loan. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Well, the ingenuity of Nigerians in fabrication and design of implements to suit local needs is no longer in doubt. Many Nigerians have received accolades internationally for their inventions. Now, a group of Nigerian technology investors have made it to the top 20 teams of an international competition in the United Kingdom. What have they done, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you. They have come up with a smart solar-powered irrigation device. You want to hear more? Okay. Abbas Mekano has the report from the pilot project farm at the irrigation farming site in Bauchi. Take a look.
Irrigation is the application of controlled amount of water to plants at needed intervals for agricultural crops and maintaining landscape, and in some cases during the period of less than average rainfall. Irrigation has been a central feature of agriculture for over 5,000 years and the basis for economies and societies across the globe. In Nigeria, irrigation process involve pumping machines, power generating plant that consumes fuel and certain amount of labor which forms part of the farming expenses, and many farmers do not go home with penny at the end of the day as a result of high cost of the irrigation process. Out of personal experience, a graduate assistant with the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University Bauchi, Faisal Sanibala, invented a device he tagged Solar-Powered Intelligent Irrigation System as a second-degree group project with an international Islamic university, Malaysia.
Myself and Ali Dalapukar, also into irrigation farming, we thought about a solution, how we can be able to make irrigation farming to be affordable and as well as boost yield and productivity.
The device has a solar panel that harnesses the required energy to pump water from the source to drip irrigation network, while the controller uses a moisture sensor to determine the required amount of water and discharge it accordingly through the drip network.
Getting finance for this project was something that we did it on our own. You want to take out any kind of innovation out of the laboratory and then get it to the field. You actually need funding.
The excess energy from the solar panel, according to the researcher, can be used to provide light for the farmer's house. No hard work without a reward. Faisal's project earned him overall best in the Malaysian university, while his team has made it to the 20-team shortlist for $1 million Holt Prize, the only African team still in the UK-based competition that aims at creating market-ready solutions to pressing needs of humanity.
For the top 20, we would have to also move to the top 6 again. So, and then that one will be determined by the end of next week. So once we are in the top 6, we will be going to the United Nations for the finals.
There is no doubt that this device can ease irrigation system in Nigeria, improve yield and facilitate the attainment of food security in the country with ever-increasing population if supported by government and other agricultural investors. In Bauchi, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Nigeria has challenged other African countries to emulate its commitment towards water and sanitation by declaring a state of emergency in the sector at the continental level. Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu gave the charge at the Africa Focus of the World Water Week in Stockholm, Sweden. Musbaud Anwahab was there.
The discussions were taken to a higher level of ministerial panel, giving credence to the urgency and seriousness water and sanitation wash sector requires. Just like the rest of the world, Africa is racing against attainment of several targets on water and sanitation. And since the setting in motion of a number of programs in the quest, including the Ngor Declaration, there are still a few success stories coming from member countries. With only 28% of the continent having access to good water and improved sanitation, the ministers present agree that the continent needs a more comprehensive policy and strategic plan, as well as stronger partnership with development partners.
If you don't have the political will that will make sure that we're funding, we need funding as Africa.
Clean water is the basis of human life, because water is life.
But this is the only way that we could accelerate access to water supply and sanitation. Otherwise, if we rely on imported technologies, I think it will take us ages.
Nigeria's government is showing commitment to address the wash sector in the country through various policies and programs, including the recent approval of a national action plan, and it is now asking the rest of the continent to give such priority to the sector.
And let's begin by declaring state of emergency, for the water sector of Africa, to raise it to the highest political level. These must feature prominently in the AU agenda. As a matter of fact, it should be the first step.
As part of measures to accelerate the improved sanitation goal, the continent is considering the adoption of non-sewer sanitation as against the sewage system.
Non-sewer system is there to address the situation with respect to urban slums, public places where we have huge population without access to sanitation. The sewage system is very expensive. You have to run pipeline and have adequate water supply to do that.
African countries under the auspices of AMCAO are now expressing commitment to go a step further by moving away from policy to action on water and sanitation. From Stockholm, Sweden, Musbau and Wahab, NTA News.
Now, this next story is stranger than fiction kind of story. We're told that over 15 people have died, while economic trees and other natural resources destroyed following the eruption of a hitherto dried spring in Umuzu, Mbana community in Otolo, Newi, Anambra State. Daniel Okwai visited the community and says the people are seeking government's intervention to forestall further casualties.
The earth, they say, is full of wonders and sometimes surprises.
To the people of Umuzu Mbana, Uduga was their major source of water, naturally pure and potable water that sprang from the rocks, giving life, nourishment, and satisfying the domestic needs of the community. But those are nothing but memories now, because Uduga Spring has suddenly dried up, giving way to an eruption which destroyed virtually all economic trees and other resources within its vicinity. Most unfortunately is the hazardous stench which oozes out from the hitherto natural spring water.
So here used to be the only source of drinking water for the community.
Taking NTA crew down the steepy, dried spring, the President General of the community and others explained that since the seeming eruption occurred last December, series of experiments have been carried out and finding shows the existence of lignite, a solid mineral responsible for igniting the eruption. Expressing worries over the natural disaster, some of the residents said the stench has displaced many families, while death toll has allegedly risen as a result of the disaster.
From 15 or 10 people have died.
People that came here, we were told to start taking milk. And since then, nobody has even sent us a tin of milk. They cannot even feed, not to talk of taking milk. So we've been to many places calling on people to come and help.
This is the Edaga waterfall, which allegedly dried up sometimes in December 2017. And the people of this community are still trying to unravel the mystery behind what happened here. And they also said that the stench emanating from the dried waterfall has caused a lot of death in this community, while they look forward that the authorities concerned will urgently come to their rescue.
Online education and integrity of such certificates. We shall examine that when we return after the break. Join us again.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was
You take that one. You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
And how they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just may have us. Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
We're glad to have you back with us. And in this segment, we begin with education. In an effort to stop mischiefs that can generate ill feelings during examination, a flexible and purposeful vehicle for third-party examination has been created by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM. The vehicle is said to be very difficult to hack into as it has inbuilt mechanism for protection. JAM Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede said this on the sideline of appeals on the education body to reduce the amount for purchase of UTME form. Olayinka Ojo completes the report.
So I think it should be reduced because of the high rate of students nationwide that is registering for it.
Not all students that you see have people to pay for them. It should not be reduced, because if your parents can afford 25,000 naira for your WAEC or NICO fee, why can't they afford 5,000 naira for your JAM?
In spite of appeals from different quarters on JAM to reduce the amount for sales of form, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says it will not bow to any pressure.
This, according to the examination body, is because globally, Nigeria is the only country that sells UTME form at a lower rate. Why then is the request for reduction?
The issue is not about what we charge. The issue is because we now have a means of managing the resources properly, that you have what you can call excess, and because we are open enough to return the surplus to government, you now say crash the cost.
JAMB also cleared the air on the issue of on-the-carpet admission by some tertiary institutions, which before now was the order of the day, as students are admitted without JAMB registration numbers.
I cannot say we do not have them, but they have reduced drastically, because as they come now, we ask them questions.
As at the time of filing this report, 1,793,018 candidates have registered for the 2018 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. And out of the number, 866,154 candidates have uploaded their O-level results. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Are tertiary educational institutions solving or contributing to the problems of the society? Now, this is a pertinent question for university administrators to answer as they converge on Abuja for a 3-day international conference on review of tertiary education in Africa. Correspondent Mitairi Ikben has that report.
In spite of the large number of graduates produced annually by tertiary institutions, Nigeria is yet to catch up with the rest of the world in technological advancement. University administrators in this conference agreed that the challenges of poor funding and infrastructural deficit in the ivory towers are not peculiar to Nigeria. They say review of tertiary education in Africa is imperative and must be tailored towards socio-economic and technological needs of the nations.
In this era of technological advancement, where information is at the touch of a button, it is important that tertiary education provide the platform for graduates to be compliant with technological tools.
All stakeholders in tertiary education development in Africa should review their programs in line with mounting challenges of the time in the sector.
The establishment of the Nigerian Army University in Biu, Borno State was applauded by the participants. This, they say, will serve as a solution center for technological challenges in the Army.
This will not only meet the goals of the defense policy, but also those of higher education in Nigeria and Africa.
The conference was emphatic on the need to come up with measures to address the challenge of the quality of academic staff in tertiary institutions.
Most of the people who are handling our students today have no business being in the classroom. And it is the responsibility of the media to continue to bring these situations to the front burner.
In a nutshell, this conference is saying tertiary education institutions in Africa should focus on not just producing graduates, but solving societal problems. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Technology-resistant learning, otherwise known as online education or e-learning, is gradually catching on among Nigerians and speedily gaining wide acceptance, particularly among those who choose to work while studying. Jane Ojukwu in this report seeks to know why the shift in preference, plus the pros and cons of online education.
The rapid internet penetration in Nigeria, coupled with the lingering inadequate spaces in the nation's tertiary institutions to accommodate the growing number of admission seekers, more candidates are now embracing alternative modes of learning, which the online education provides. Unlike the conventional means of schooling, which allows for live face-to-face interaction between teachers and students within a physical structure, online education is delivered and administered using the internet. Livinus Nweke is a master's degree holder. He got his second degree in computer science through an online program.
The beauty of online studies was that it allowed me to continue my work while studying for my degree.
Though the National Universities Commission, NUC, has, through accreditation, continued to expand the number of courses that can be undertaken online, some courses have remained exclusive to the conventional mode of learning.
In Nigeria, we don't do medicine or law online, but the National Open University does it. But they have a problem with the Council of Legal Education. They cannot do your service, and also they cannot go to law school, so they cannot become lawyers.
Apart from the cognitive development of students, effective and psychomotor development also help in ensuring that well-rounded individuals worthy in character and learning are produced upon graduation. How feasible is it to achieve this in an online mode?
Because there is no social interaction. Because social interaction is very, very important to development, and then it doesn't allow a teamwork.
Online education, no doubt, is relatively new when compared with the conventional mode of learning, and considering Nigerians' disposition to any shift in paradigm, one might wonder how valid and acceptable the certificates obtained from online education are.
The same course materials, the same examination that they took. So the standard is the same.
But Livinus, who is now about to start his doctorate degree, says he found it difficult to gain admission for his master's degree in Nigeria just because his certificate, in which he made a 2-1, was gotten from an online program. He secured admission in a first-grade school in Italy and made a first class in his master's in a record time of 2 years against the normal 3 years duration, making Nigeria proud in Italy. He is currently being wooed by a globally recognized ICT firm, but he insists that he wants to secure his doctorate degree and come back to lecture in Nigeria. Observers are of the opinion that online education has come to stay, as it is the future of education not only in Nigeria but globally. They, however, urged the National Universities Commission to be more circumspect to ensure that rules are adhered to and standard of education maintained. In Lagos, Jane Ojukwu, NTA News.
I'm sure you have watched at one point one of those NTA promos advertising advising Nigerians about illegal trips to foreign countries, especially Italy, in search of greener pastures. Even with these and many more on NTA and other media platforms, the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is calling for more awareness on irregular migration, especially to educational communities. This is what the Commission, in collaboration with the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, is doing. Joy Iloegbu reports on the awareness campaign in the university.
With the situation of irregular migration becoming more troubling in recent times, with news of occurrences of various forms of abuses and vulnerability, the workshop seeks to sensitize Nigerian youths on the dangers of migrating illegally. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, says although migration is inevitable in view of interdependency, a major challenge associated with migration is the means through which it is achieved.
Like most other countries, Nigeria's response to migration has been a significant shift from a problem to be solved to a reality with challenges to be managed.
Addressing the participants, Coordinator, Civil Society Network on Migration and Development, Reverend Father Emeka Chris Obiezu, pointed out that dealing with the realities of irregular migration requires collaboration between government and the people to unveil the root causes and dangers of irregular migration.
In line with the vision of Nnamdi Azikiwe himself, we decided to do a kind of handshake with this agency, the National Agency for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, to seek their fellowship in order to establish this center here.
the center is charged with the responsibility of coordinating the postgraduate programs of the University on Migration Studies.
Further discussions also revolved around risk and vulnerability of migrants traveling illegally, with some returnees sharing their stories. In Oka, Joy Iluebu, NTA News.
Time now to take another short break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay with us.
Here's to the dreamers, the doers, the ones who feel everything but fear nothing. To those who stride with courage in their hearts and victory in their souls. Here's to you. Here's to progress. Your progress. Keep walking.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You're welcome back. And now a bit on sports. Seychelles Football Federation shifts 2019 AFCON qualifiers against Nigeria as tennis players complain of heat at the US Open. Amazi Marcus has more on Sports Update.
The Seychelles Football Federation says the 2019 AFCON qualifier between